Hey everyone, and welcome back to BMX News. This is a weekly BMX news show where I talk about everything that happened in the previous week within the world of BMX that I think you guys might care about. That being said, the first thing I have to talk about this week is probably the reason you're here in the title and thumbnail of the video, and right here, glow-in-the-dark skate park. This isn't the first time that this has been done, but it's the most recent time. So first of all, I tried to find some more pictures and more importantly, video of this thing being used while it's glowing in the dark. And this picture is the only thing that I could find. It's just someone skateboarding it while it's glowing in the dark. Couldn't find any videos or anything like that, so I'm sorry there. If you can find anything though, leave a link to it in the comments down below. But to give a little bit of background information on this thing, I need to lose this hoodie. It's way too hot. Much better. So this is a BMX news video. Naturally, you guys are wondering about BMX at this glow-in-the-dark skate park. Unfortunately, in everything I read, I couldn't find anything about whether or not BMX was allowed. But let's give some background information anyways so you guys can learn a little bit more about this project and kind of why it happened. So it says in an article over on Hypebeast that is linked in the description below, Art and Design Museum Trinale Milano, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, is launching its Year of Play, a multidisciplinary project that will explore the nature of play in games in all forms over the course of a year. Kicking off the interactive series is South Korean artist Koo Jong-ae's fully functioning skate park called Ooh, literally just O's. Designed specifically for the Galleria on the ground floor of Trinale, the skate park is completely covered in glow-in-the-dark paint and turns fluorescent green as the lights change. Glow-in-the-dark skate park. Who would have guessed it was covered in glow-in-the-dark paint? So this is located in Milano, Italy, and if any of you watching this are anywhere near here, can you please call them up or find out somehow whether or not bikes are allowed at this place? And if they are, go check it out and go ride it and take some videos of it so we can show and talk about it here on the BMX News video. And this kind of is the end of what I have to say about this thing. I just thought it was cool and worth mentioning and thought that some people might just like to see and appreciate it for what it is, and that is a piece of functional art. And then we can move on to contest and jam news because the next thing I have to talk about is a highlight in itself, and that is Red Bull's Uncontained contest. If you haven't heard of this, basically what this is a contest bringing the spirit of Drew Bezanson's Uncontainable video that he did indoors for 14 people to ride. There's two captains, Drew Bezanson and Daniel Wiedemeyer. They picked 7 people each to go against each other in a real deal live contest, just like we've seen with X Games and Feast and any of those other live contests that are happening and being scored as they go on. And they're riding the biggest ramps that probably a contest has ever seen within BMX. And it might honestly be one of the coolest, if not the coolest thing to happen contest-wise in 2019 for BMX. This is absolute literal insanity in every aspect of the term. If you've watched any of the highlights video, which is what I have to talk about, the first one is a 5-minute highlights video directly from Red Bull, and then the second thing is the full entire live stream. If you've watched any of this, you know how absolutely just crazy this is. Chances are you probably have already seen the 3-tap to double whip that Jake Leva did down the hitching post setup that was there, and that's just some of the craziness that went down at this contest. I personally think that yes, this was completely over the top, but I also think that there needs to be more stuff like this in BMX. We've got all these different factions, from Feast to X Games to Nitro Circus to kids riding foot-tall flat ledges on Instagram, or kids saying the most insane stuff you've ever seen just to post it on Instagram. Why not have something like this regularly for all of the most insane of the insane to go and do the biggest tricks that could ever be done on a BMX bike, on the biggest ramps that we've ever seen in a contest for BMX. Next, we've got another highlights video from the Backyard Jam 2019 series. This is round 4 at Asylum Skatepark. You guys can check that out in a link in the description below, as well as links to everything that I've talked about and I'm going to talk about in the order that they are talked about. After that, we can talk about the videos from this week. And with that, there are a lot of videos to cover this week, but only a few that I want to talk in depth about. But if you guys need a fix for BMX videos, this is the week to be needing that fix because there's so many of them. The first one comes from Karl Immers, and it's just a Karl Immers edit that he uploaded, which might be one of the craziest videos that's been uploaded in the past month. It really reminded me of the Christian Arhart video that I talked about a few weeks ago, in that this dude is just sending some of the craziest stuff. He's doing those frontward bike flip things that Ryan Williams does on the regular over dirt jumps. He's doing backflip double tail whips. He's doing a double backflip in here. And if I keep going on this, I'm just going to list every trick in the video and you guys aren't going to have a reason to watch it. So I'm going to stop there, and I'm just going to tell you guys that if there's one video from this week that you should be watching, it's this one, especially if you enjoy watching people absolutely send it. And so first I talked about a shorter video from one person that is a must-watch video from this week. Well, second, I'm going to talk about a little bit longer of a video that is an absolute must-watch if you want to watch something longer for this week. Let me just run through the list of who's in this video before I say what it is, and you'll probably know as I'm reading it. So we've got Brock Rayford, Alex Donachie, Boyd Hilder, Denham Cox, Tom Dugan, Sam Jones, Justin Spreet, Guy Scroggie, and Callan Stibbards. This video is called Break Glasgow, and it's from BSD and Odyssey, and holy cow, this just cements the fact that right now BMX trip videos are where it's at. Because yes, any one of these guys could have made their own video from this entire thing and had their own edit, but it would have been nowhere near as cool as this trip video with all of them was. And there's a couple people in here that I hadn't really followed or seen before that absolutely blew my mind. The Colin Stibbards, this guy is amazing. First clip, an opening clip of the video, is a gigantic handrail, and then he did a double peg can down a rail that was just super awesome. And then he followed up Tom Dugan with a crazy trick, and I hadn't heard of or seen this guy before, but after this video I am super psyched to see more from this dude. Then the other guy that I hadn't really paid much attention to before this was Sam Jones. What sealed the deal for me was when Sam Jones did a hang 5 to wall ride out of a quarter pipe. He hang 5'd up a quarter, then got onto his bike and landed on a double tire on a wall before he hit the wall and then came back in. It was just one of the craziest things in this video, and it was in the middle of it, and that's just part of the insanity because you heard all of the other people that are in this one. So basically do yourself a favor and stop listening to me talk about it and just click on the link and watch the video, because I really was a fan of this one. They did a fantastic job. And then after that, there's one other video that I wanted to talk kind of in depth about, because it's not very often that you got a video or just even a person in general that can go from a flatland clip and do a really awesome flatland link, then directly into a clip jumping dirt jumps and 360ing a dirt jump at the end of a line. And this person did just that with this video, and it's Dane Beardsley's That in This 2019 video. Dane's got a few more flatland than not flatland clips in this one, but regardless, it's super awesome to see someone really well-rounded and putting clips that are equally as good from flatland and dirt and a skate park clip all into one video, and I thought that you guys might like to check it out, so I figured I would share it with you and talk in depth about it. That being said, that's the last video, like I said, that I wanted to talk in depth about, so let's move on to the list of other videos that are definitely worth checking out this week. The first is Anthony Perrin's Day and Night video, then we've got Sean Falkenstein's Make Noise section, then we've got Spilled Champagne from Kink. This is a whole bunch of stuff from Kink's Champagne DVD that just didn't make the cut. Then we've got a video from Max Gaertig to celebrate 17 years of being on We the People. That is a long time. Some of you watching this might not even be 17 years old. I haven't even been riding bikes for 17 years. So just representing a company and being supported by a company for that long is an achievement in itself and worth checking out the video for if you guys are into it. Then we've got Piece by Piece, the full video, which was uploaded to Chris Doyle's Palaver YouTube channel. This is a little bit longer of a video at just over 10.5 minutes long, and it's a little bit older of a video, but it's got significance because, as Doyle writes in the description on his Palaver YouTube channel, Piece by Piece is a short underground video that highlights a group of rippers, all caps, from the Youngstown, Ohio area, filmed and edited by Jay Loychik. So if Doyle's saying that, you know that it's reputable and you know that you're going to want to check it out. And this is another one that's a little bit longer, so if you want a longer video, this is it for you. Then we've got another one that's actually a little bit longer, and this is Weird and Revered's High Fashion Mixtape This one is just over 15 and a half minutes long. So if you guys need your long video fix or just your video fix, like I said earlier, this is the week to need it because there's so many videos to talk about. And that's the last one that I have to talk about, so we can move into the non-product related section for this week, because there wasn't anything to talk about product related except for maybe the fact that Odyssey Sunday glow in the dark stuff being available, but that's not really news anymore because it's sold out almost instantly, other than maybe, if it's still there, the 170 millimeter left-hand drive Thunderbolt cranks that were available as of last night when I was just clicking through things. Everyone knew that that stuff was gonna go extremely fast, so I didn't want to spend too much time on it. And since there's not really a product related news section this week, I haven't talked about it in a while, and this box has just been sitting here. So Free Night Planetary Free Coaster. If you haven't heard of it, it's the only free coaster ever that you don't have to disengage or re-engage while you're riding it. If you want to know more about that, I have included a link to my playlist of videos going over it extensively in the description down below. And that brings us into the interview section from this week, where there's only one thing to talk about, and that is a Dennis Enarson video where Scotty Cranmer is interviewing him. This one, I listened to the entire thing. It's a half hour long, and there's some overlap in things that Dennis has talked about in previous interviews and podcast type things, but when you're Dennis Enarson, everybody wants to talk to you, so some things get brought up more than once, and there was a lot of stuff in there that hadn't really been talked about before, and it's definitely a great interview, and Scotty has been doing a fantastic job with these, so I'm sure a lot of you are going to want to check it out. That being said, and with the entire BMX news video already being filmed, there's two other things that just popped up that I wanted to make sure that I talked about, and both of these come from older BMX riders. The first is a video with Neil Waddington, and it's called Probably Alright. If you don't know who Neil is, he's the guy who runs the Ride On BMX Facebook group over on Facebook. If you don't know what that is, you're probably not old enough. And then we've got Brett Downs' 2019 summary video that went up. And if you don't know who Brett Downs is, you're probably not old enough, but both of these guys still kill it on their bikes, and they're both super awesome, genuine dudes. And I definitely wanted to make sure that I talked about this, and I'm hoping, Neil, if you see this, I'm really hoping that you can make that Ride On BMX group video happen again before 2020 starts, or at least the beginning of 2020. You know where to go if you need a video editor, like I already told you. Now, with that being said, that's the last stuff I have to talk about this week in the BMX news video. If you wanted to comment on anything or start a conversation, please do so in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of the glow-in-the-dark skate park, or any of the videos, or anything else from this week for that matter. If you're new here, consider hitting the subscribe button down below, so hopefully we will see you tomorrow for another video. I want to thank you guys all for being here and watching. You're why I make this BMX news video, so hopefully we will see you tomorrow, and goodbye.